is Canto 4, Chapter 1, Chapter 11, and today our verse will be number 13. Chapter 11 is Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. So we begin from Dhruv, how he overcomes the Yakshas, illusions, and how he kills all of them. Then by this killing, Yakshas are also agitated. Dhruva kills them. And then from verses 1 to 5, it's the war part. And then from verses 6 to 14, we have this section where Swayambhuva Manu is actually reasoning with Dhruva Maharaj and instructing him not to kill the Yakshas. So Manu arrives at this point, and Swayambhuva Manu instructs that it's very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari, and he has already achieved that. And then the instructions begin from verse 7. Anger is sinful, and this is not what a pure devotee should do. And killing many for one's fault is not a wonderful act. And we're killing, or we're identifying ourselves with the body. So bodily identification has to be understood properly. And then avoid unnecessary killing. And Manu here is quite surprised. Swayambhuva Manu is very surprised by Dhruva Maharaj, saying that I'm very surprised by your act because you're a pure devotee and always remembered by the Lord. So you're recognized by the devotees, by Lord's devotees, like Narada. And Dhruva Maharaj has to be an example for everybody that we discussed yesterday. So we begin with our chanting of the prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridiyantasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti sruhit satam Nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shlokir bhakti bhavati naishtikir. So our verse today is for 11:13. Titikshaya karunaya Maitri chakila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasiddhati. Titikshaya karunaya Maitrya chakila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasiddhati. Titikshaya karunaya Maitrya chakila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasiddhati. This is a very, very beautiful verse. Are there volunteers who would like to recite it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Prabhu, please accept my respectful obeisance.
Hare Krishna. Titikshaya karunaya maitra cha kila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasidhati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, Prabhu.
তিতিক্ষয়া করুণয়া মৈত্রা চাখিল জন্তুষু সমত্তেন চ সর্বাত্মা ভগবান সম্প্রসীদতি। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
হরে কৃষ্ণ মাতাজি।
Hare Krishna Mataji, please.
তিতিক্ষায়া করুণয়া মৈত্র্যা চাখিল জন্তুষু সমত্বেন চ সর্বাত্মা ভগবান সম্প্রসীদতি। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Hare Krishna, I am trying as well.
Mataji, please.
Titiksaya kurunaya moitra chakhilo jantushu samottena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidoti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone? Let's read the synonyms and then someone can read translation and purport. Titikshaya, by tolerance. Karunaya, by mercy. Maitrya, by friendship. Cha, also. Akhila, universal. Jantushu, unto the living entities. Samatvena, by equilibrium. Cha, also. Sarvatma, the super soul. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Samprasidati, becomes very satisfied. So translation and put by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any volunteers to read translation and purport?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead. Somebody else. Okay, I'll read with it. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Purport. It is a duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are three stages of devotional life. In the lower stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple, and he worships the Lord with great devotion according to rules and regulations. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relations with fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relations with persons who are envious. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious person. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons whom he can elevate to devotional service. Everyone by consistent position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is always to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As for the devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equal, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of Supreme Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms to dress, but according to the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, a learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotees is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. It is therefore said that a saintly person is always tolerant, merciful, his friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. These are some of the great qualities of the devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is a wonderful, very, very wonderful translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, very useful for our life. Before we proceed, I would extend a little bit more by watching around 7 minutes video of Srila Prabhupada, his point on and then we'll take a takeaway. Let's keep this session a little bit interactive today because all of us are devotees and all of us are having this concerns about our tolerance. So we can try and work it out today through this. So let's watch this and hear this, and I'll request a couple of devotees, please help me out in giving your takeaway messages after we finish this. So I'm starting now. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
दृष्ट्वा सर्वभूतानां मैत्र करुणा एव च निर्मम निरहंकार समदुःख सुखक्षमे सन्तुष्ट सततम योगी जतात्मा दृढ़ निश्चय मयि अर्पितो मनोबुद्धि जो मद भक्त समेत प्रिय. This Krishna consciousness movement means how to become dear to Krishna. How Krishna will love me. Krishna loves. Krishna says,
why did you use Miro? Well, when you draw on a whiteboard, no one sees it. Miro, you plan together in real time.
Sorry.
that he is no one's enemy and no one's friend. That is in neutrality. But he says, Jetu bhajanti man bhaktya tesu te mai samohang sarvabhuteshu samohang sarvabhuteshu name deshasti na priya. God must be equal to everyone. He is neither envious to anyone nor friendly to anyone. This is general. But there is special significance. Jetu bhajanti man bhaktya. Persons who are engaged in devotional service with love and faith. Tesu te mai. I have got a special, intimate relation with him. It is not partiality. It's like if a gentleman has got 5 sons, and out of the 5 sons, those who are very obedient to the father, or one of them, 2 of them, naturally the father is inclined to them. That is not partiality. That's why the father is inclined to some sons and other sons indifferent. That is natural. As we have got this natural instinct, similarly, God has also the same instinct. If we study ourselves analytically, we can understand what is God. Because we are the sample of God. Mamai mansa jiva bhuta. Sample, just like if you take 1 drop of water from the sea water, you can't understand what is the chemical composition of the whole sea. It is not very difficult. Similarly, if you study yourself, what are your inclinations, propensities? There are so many things. So everything what you have got, the same thing God has also got. The difference is that you are like a drop of seawater and is vast sea. That's all. Big quantity. Quantitatively, we are different. But qualitatively, we are one. The same quality. If you are cooking rice, you take 1 grain of rice and you press it. If you feel that it is now soft, then the whole rice is cooked. The sample. There is a bag of rice. You take a few grains, sample. You can understand what is the quality of the whole bag. Similarly, what is God? That is not very difficult to understand. Simply, you have to study yourself. Nitya Nityanam, Chetana Chetananam. But not that you are God. You are sample of God. Now, we being very intimately connected because we are all sons of God. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Jonishu Kaunteya Sambhavanti Murtaja Dasang Mahajani Brahma Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father. Not only human society, but there are other societies, animal society, bird society, beast society, vegetable society, insect society, aquatic society. They are also Krishna's son, God's son. Therefore, Krishna says, one who is actually devotee and wants to be very dear to me, his qualification must be Abdestya Sarvabhutanam. He must be non-envious to all living entities. Nowadays, fashion has become Daridra Narayan Seva. This is nonsense. What is the Daridra Narayan Seva? Why you are taking care of the Daridras? If you have got such vision, such outlook, everyone's heart there is Narayan. There is no denial. Ishara Sarvabhutanam. Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtat. Ishara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated in everyone's heart. If you have got such vision, you are seeing in everyone the Supreme Narayan, then why should you designate only the Daridras? Others also, you should see dog Narayan, you should see Kutta Narayan. Why Daridra Narayan? If you have got such broad vision, why taking particular? No, that is imperfect vision. You cannot send the Chag Narayan, goat Narayan, to the slaughterhouse and allow the Daridra Narayan to eat the meat. This is not Bhakta's business. This is demonic. Bhakta's business is, here it is clearly stated, Adeshtya Sarvabhutanam. You should be equally kind to everyone, to the Daridras, to the Dhanis also. Here everyone is Daridra because everyone is lacking knowledge. So nobody is rich. Here the so-called rich is also Daridra because he has no knowledge. And the so-called Daridra is also Daridra because everyone's knowledge is the bodily concept of I am this body. Now, Krishna does not say that a particular body is very dear to me. He says, Sarvajoni Sukhodeo. All species of life, they are all sons. They are simply in different dress. We are sitting here, so many people in different dress. That does not mean that one who is in black dress or dirty dress is not a human being. He is also a human being. Or one is dressed very nicely, he is also a human being. That is Pandita Samadarshan. We should not see to the dress. We should see inside the dress.
Thank you very much for watching that. This was basically the summary of everything in the summary of Krishna consciousness movement. So before we start discussing about our takeaway messages and further unfolding the verse, we'll invite blessings of our Guru and Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Das Goswami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. So let's put the title of our verse today. The verse is how to satisfy the Lord, or how Krishna is pleased. So we'll go back to this verse again. And how is Krishna pleased? So this is a very nice key that we are getting today. So the Lord is pleased with his devotees if he is certain qualities. So before I begin, can I ask one or two volunteers to please give the takeaway of what Srila Prabhupada said in the video?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have a spiritual relationship with Lord Krishna. We should love Lord Krishna, and we should know how to love him.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And we should not look down upon anybody. We should not look anyone as Daridra, because the Lord is situated in each and every heart, in all living beings at Super Soul.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat pranams Mataji. Mataji, so Prabhupada is explaining actual, it is Daridra means it's not actually money, it's a lack of knowledge. So that we have to understand, we are lacking the knowledge, that's why we are in poor condition. So we are suffering. So all this because of lack of knowledge. We have to understand what is Krishna consciousness. So that's what I mentioned.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Anyone
Krishna
else?
Mataji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna
pranam.
Prabhu. Pranam Prabhu.
The gist is from Bhagavad Gita 12, 13 and 14. Advesta Shurvabhutanam Maitra Karunaye Vacha Nirmama Nirahankara Sama Dukkha Sukha Shami. That is the gist of Prabhupada lecture.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. All right. So this key is a very, very important key. We have got it in all our scriptures, and we just need to scrutinize it. And let's scrutinize the verse first. Titikshaya. Titikshaya means tolerant towards seniors. In our purport, we see that tolerance towards seniors, and when ill-treated by the envious. So that's tolerance. Karunaya, merciful towards inferiors and the ignorants. And Maitreya, friendly towards everyone, equal, friendly towards equals. And Samatvena means equal to everyone. So we discussed also about compassion, which means paradukha dukhi. So this comes as samatvena, equal to everyone, considering their happiness and distress as one's own. So, okay, now let's delve into this question. Why do we need to please God? Now, without we having something, what's in it for me, there's no question, no motivation, and nothing for us to be pleasing God. Like we have forgotten Krishna since time immemorial. Why do we want to remember him now? And why do we want to please him now? So the why point is quite important. Now, the next verse talks about it, but I'll just pick a quick note on why. So why do we what happens when the Lord is pleased? When the Lord is pleased, we become free of gunas, and we become free. We become in the next verse we'll be reading about guna vimukto and jiva nirmukto. We become free of gunas and we become free of one's gross and subtle bodies, which we have been carrying since time immemorial. And the resulting factor is we achieve the Lord's abode. We go back home, back to Godhead. So then now we know the why factor here. Now let's see how. Now that we know the reason, why do we want to please God? Then how do we want to please God? This is our sambandha, abhidaya, and prayojana. So how do we want to? What should we do to please the Lord? So this key is given to us. We just have to open it. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people, not of his choice, not of his own people, but everybody greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. So if we notice, the word tolerance has come as first. I mean, there's nothing like alphabetical order or anything that's coming up. So the translation could have been friendship, equality, mercy, and then tolerance. But the tolerance word comes as first. And everything has meaning in Srila Prabhupada's texts. Everything has meaning. So tolerance, until and unless we develop tolerance, we can't be merciful, we can't develop friendship, and there will be no equality. So that's the first point where we have to work on. So that's two things that we'll be discussing in this verse today. First section is tolerance, and then different types of devotees from the purport. So the Lord is pleased with when the devotee is very tolerant. So in Shiksha Ashtakam, Trinadapi Shunichena, Taroreva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manedena, Kirtaniya Sadari. So when we say Trinadapi, the first three lines are the first three lines of this Shiksha Ashtakam prayers, Trinadapi Shunichena, is very important to be able to achieve the fourth line. The fourth line is Kirtaniya Sadahari. So the goal of our life is to do Kirtaniya Sadahari. But because of the first three anarthas, because of our ignorance in that, so in initiation where His Holiness Vedvyas Priya Maharaj was discussing, he said that ignorance creates anarthas. And because of anarthas, we commit a lot of offenses. So because we commit offenses, how can we continuously chant the holy name? With love. We may be chanting continuously, but we may not be chanting with power. The holy name has the efficacy definitely to give all the benefits to us, but because we are not taking advantage of it properly, therefore we are still carrying our anarthas. So therefore, tolerance and mercy, these two things come up as really, 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 really important aspects of why we don't have the key to loving relationship with each other, and why we don't have the key to loving relationship with the Lord. The question comes is, we always think at the time of chanting, and we always think, it's been years that I'm in Krishna consciousness. Why I don't feel any symptoms of love? Why I don't feel soft-heartedness? Why I can't cry for the Lord? The reason is because we've been carrying a lot of anarthas. So instead of talking on the negative side, let's talk on the positive side. Tolerance. There are examples. The examples in Srimad Bhagavatam of devotees, wonderful devotees who have shown this beautiful quality of tolerance. Does any one of you remember one devotee in Srimad Bhagavatam, who's just a very little child, and he tolerated. And the Lord was so extremely pleased with him.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj.
Maharaj ki jai.
Jai. So you see, what Prahlad Maharaj has gone through, we have nothing. We have nothing in comparison to Prahlad Maharaj's tortures. But he has developed so much tolerance. Then how is it that it's so difficult for us? So tolerance is the first of all qualities of service. One should be practiced. Srila Prabhupada says that one should be practiced to actually tolerate, to bear the insults. And as one has this bearing tendency, we see that we are in material nature, and this is expected in material nature. It is expected that people will insult us. People will dishonor us. Like for preachers, it is a difficult thing. Preachers do have to, like in book distribution, if we see, some people are not really happy to take Krishna consciousness. They might insult, they might dishonor, but then our job is to behave like a sadhu. So there'll be so many insults and so much dishonor from others. So we can take the example of, so in that case, because there are so many impediments to making advancement in spiritual knowledge, we must learn to tolerate and continue our progress with determination. As long as we're in the bodily concept of life, it's very difficult to tolerate, as long as we are in the bodily concept. So the bodily concept creates that false ego, which we already know. And it is because of our ignorance that we keep forgetting our constitutional position. And that is the reason why we get really agitated by certain situations, by certain people, by certain groups. So now man is a social animal. Similarly, devotees are also they can't work without association. In that case, how is it possible that all of us who are we are all practicing devotees? How is it that we will think that, oh, there's no need to tolerate? Yes, there's a huge need to tolerate when we all come together to work, to serve the Lord. Everyone has different moods to serve the Lord. So one, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, one who seeks your compassion, Srila Prabhupada states in purports, he says that one who seeks your compassion and just tolerates all kind of adverse conditions due to karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances to you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. A devotee who tolerates everything in this material world and patiently executes his devotional service can become Mukti Pade Sa Daya Bhak, like an inheritor. That person has a rightful inheritance of the kingdom of God. So the word Daya Bhak here means heredity. Where in chapter 15 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says everything is yours. You just need to come. That's it. So devotee, our job is to simply engage in devotional service and not care a lot about material situations. Now, does that mean we become really lazy about it? No, it doesn't mean that. What examples are there who have tolerated for the sake of others?
Kunti Maharani.
Kunti Maharani, Haridas Thakur, Christchurch, sorry, not Christchurch, Jesus Christ, sorry about that. Jesus Christ, you see. So Jesus Christ was crucified. I'm really sorry about what I said, sorry. So we see that Nityananda Prabhu, you see, Nityananda Prabhu was violently attacked by Jagai and Madhai, and how he tolerated. This is amazing, isn't it? So when we see that these qualities are there in Krishna, and these qualities are there in the pure devotees, we need to see that definitely there is something for me too. There's definitely something for me as well. And this quality is what I have to imbibe in myself, create in myself, inculcate in myself. So how am I going to do that? Now, by following the footsteps of the acharyas. Now, let's also think one more point on tolerance. Are we tolerating for others, or are we tolerating for ourselves? Is it because we have to give a big sacrifice by tolerating others?
No, Mataji, we have to tolerate for ourselves, for our own good.
Yes, we need to tolerate for ourselves. So what happens if we tolerate for ourselves? What happens when we tolerate for ourselves?
Then the other person will calm down and he'll have good realizations come to him.
Yes, definitely. There's this very nice pastime of Srila Prabhupada, where there's this group of sports people are in the same plane as Srila Prabhupada. And one of his servants tells and they're very noisy and rowdy, and they're very intoxicated because they've played, and they're very happy jubilant about what achievements they have got. So they're like very excited. So the servant of Srila Prabhupada goes to the stewardess and says that, please, can you tell them to stop? They're like really, really disturbing. So, sorry, not the servant of Srila Prabhupada at first, but secondly. So at first, somebody, like everyone, each of the passengers were like really disturbed by so much noise and rowdiness. So then all these sports people got quiet for some time, and then of course they're in an intoxicated state and very happy and ecstatic about their achievements. They started all over again. So Srila Prabhupada's servant actually stands up and wants to go towards stewardess and wants to say that, please, he's feeling like really disturbed by this, that Srila Prabhupada is disturbed because that he's taking as a service. But Srila Prabhupada looks at him and says, sit down. And then with his grave voice, he says, what is the difference between them and us devotees if we can't tolerate? So we see with in these little pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, in these little interactions with Srila Prabhupada, we see how as an acharya he has been really an example, an exemplary, who can actually teach from all his little acts. So therefore we see that tolerance is not something that we do it for others, because we want to progress in we want to progress in our spirituality, we want to progress in our spiritual growth. Then that's the reason why tolerance is one of the things that we need to work on. So again, spirituality is something that's internal. It's not something which we just have to show from the bodily concept of or bodily view. So we can't be tolerant to certain groups of people and not tolerant for certain groups of people. Yes, we have to be tolerant because we have to first feel like sadhu, to behave like sadhu, to feel like, until and unless we feel like devotee, how can we behave like a devotee? So in that case, the thing is, we have to work on ourselves. And how can we work on ourselves? By studying. In that video, Srila Prabhupada mentions that we have to work on ourselves. How are we supposed to work on ourselves? because we are part and parcel of Krishna. These qualities are from Krishna. We have these qualities. It's just that disconnection that we have at the moment with ourselves. So this quality is already there. We just have to bring it. Therefore, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we don't start our relationship with Krishna. We revive our lost connection with Krishna. So this very clearly, scientifically tells us that this is not something we are making or manufacturing. This is something which has been inherently in us. And because of our association with the material energy, too much of ignorance, too much of passion, we are thinking that I am this. And therefore, the third line of Shri Shiksha Ashtakam comes as Manina Manadena. We are always after man. That's the reason we can't tolerate anything. So tolerance helps us to work on our own spiritual growth. In that case, what is the loss? Devotee never has any sort of any loss in this, in all his activities. Every activity in Krishna conscious is for the benefit of the devotee, is for the benefit of our own self-growth, connection, and our steps in Krishna consciousness. So with this, I'll just take one very interesting part. I was just thinking that, yes, we see that Krishna has these qualities. So definitely if we get angry, Krishna would also get angry, right? But look at the level of tolerance of Krishna. He's sitting in our heart and he knows us very, very, very well, maybe more than how we know ourselves. So in that case, has it ever happened with any one of us, where Krishna has left this place called our heart and he's not here? Not just human beings but all living entities. Has Krishna left any one of us? Krishna's been sitting in our heart from time immemorial. Even if we remember him, we forget him, but he's tolerating us. Has ever Krishna said, no, Baba, bas, I am tired of you. I am really tired of what you do. I can't really tolerate you anymore. Has it ever happened that Krishna left our heart?
No.
When we die and we take another birth and we are circling in this birth, death situation. Has that ever happened that in any life Krishna left us?
No.
Krishna's been with us all the time. So if he has that quality of being tolerant, how can we as part and parcels of his not start working on how to develop tolerance? So that can be worked only when we connect with ourselves. So connection, being empathic with ourselves, helps us to be tolerant to others. This is very interesting. Until and unless we're tolerant with ourselves, we can't be tolerant with others. So ourselves, whatever we are reflecting, it has to be reflected outside, inside and outside. So we can take it up that we can take it up in this way that let's have this, of course, so everything has an activity. So let's make a list. We can start with a very short exercise today, tomorrow, take a week or so. And let's make a list of all the people in our lives that we're tolerating. And we just write it in our own set of space and we write it down. And we may feel that, oh, I'm the victim and everybody is really troubling me and I am the best here. So we may be having 200 people on our list. And I would request, once this list is made with your own groups, it would be nice to share the list someday. And you'll see that if Krishna is also tolerating us, there are definitely other devotees, other people who are tolerating us as well. So if others are tolerating us, How is it so difficult that I cannot tolerate others? I am not perfect. We are in this material world, and it would be totally insane to think that I am perfect. So therefore, I have to put that in my mind. It would be amazing to see our names in each of our groups. We have been doing certain activities where we see that how difficult it is to tolerate, how difficult it would be for you all to be tolerating me. So this is an amazing exercise. If you like, please try it. And you'll see how our man goes really down, and we come into that realization that, yes, there are people, there are devotees around me who are tolerating. So I also have to imbibe that quality from others, that if I'm being tolerated, I also have to tolerate others. And with tolerance, automatically other things will follow up, which is mercy, friendship, and equality. So that was first part of our discussion on this verse. And then the second part from this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions 3 types of devotees. We often think that the 3 types are Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama Adhikari. Now, Adhikari means someone who holds that quality. So this passage, this verse is mainly for the Madhyam Adhikaris, because from Kanishta, we have to go to Madhyam. And at this stage, we have to develop certain very, very beautiful qualities. So the Kanishta stage doesn't mean that this is a poor stage, very bad stage. And we should see, if I consider myself Madhyam, I start looking really, really negatively to the Kanishta, or we take it as a slang, I'm a Kanishta Adhikari, or you are a Kanishta. No. There is one very important line, a very important word here. The Kanishta Adhikari in the lower stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple. He's not bad. And he worships the Lord with great devotion. So definitely the second step, we first start seeing Krishna, and then we start seeing Krishna and connecting our relationship with Krishna with each and every one of us we are associated with the nature, with the material nature, with everything that is connected to Krishna. Verse 10.8 tells us, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, doesn't mean that Krishna is here telling that, oh, I'm the boss and you all have to follow me. It's nothing like that. Krishna is he's giving us another key to connect with each other. He's saying that I don't think that you can only worship me. I'm only in my, Archa Vigraha form. No, I'm the concept of Paramatma teaches us very clearly that all of us are part and parcels of Krishna. We are not Krishna. We are part and parcels of Krishna. So how can we love Krishna without loving each other? It's very difficult. So in that case, we need to worship. We need to be friendly with them as well. We need to be, if one is in that stage, need to be friendly. And then in the second stage, we see that these second stages were what we have to work on. Even if we are Kanishtas today, we have to work on becoming Madhyamas, because that's the point where we will actually begin our devotional service. So the second stage of the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with the fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relationship with the persons who are envious. So there are 4 things. This verse highlights the 4 qualities of a Madhyama Adhikari. Can someone repeat this? So he has 4 relationships. He's cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with the fellow devotees, his relationship with the persons who are innocent, and his relationship with the persons who are envious. So would anyone like to repeat? There are 4 things he has to work on. Number one, his
relationship. Can I speak, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
He has to work on his relationship with Krishna, with relationship with other devotees, relationship with people who are innocent, and relationship with people who are envious.
So this is the four things we all have to work on. And there's nothing like with all these four relationships that we are working on is the sum of our service to Krishna, is the sum of our growing as a spiritualist, our growing as a devotee. And then once we do all these things, once we follow these relationships, the verse Trinadapi Shunichena will come. There will be humility because we'll know our position. If we are in relationship with Krishna, we know our position. When we are in relationship with fellow devotees, we become tolerant. So humility, tolerant, amanina manatena, and then the devotees who are innocent and the devotees who are, the relationship with the fellow devotees and the relationship with the persons who are innocent and the persons who are envious. So this is our workspace. We have to work on this to learn to be tolerant. And then in the last section, Srila Prabhupada says, it is therefore said that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone. He's peaceful. And these are some of the good qualities of a devotee. So we might have read good qualities of a devotee. I'll just highlight a couple of points here to recap on what are the good qualities of a devotee. I'll just name a couple of things which are qualities of a devotee. There are 26 in number, and these are listed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Number one, he's kind to everyone. Number two, he does not quarrel with anyone. Number three, fixed in the absolute truth. Number four, equal to everyone. 5, faultless. 6, charitable. 7, mild. He's clean. 9, simple, without material possessions. 10, he's benevolent. 11, he's peaceful. 12, completely attached to Krishna. 13, he has no material hankering. 14, meek, steady. 15, 16, self-controlled. 17, does not eat more than required. 18, sane. 19, respectful. 20, humble. 21, grave. 22, compassionate. 23, friendly. 24, poetic. 25, silent. And 26, expert. So with this, this is a very fortunate situation for me to be doing this verse. So I get this opportunity today to ask for blessings from all the present Vaishnavas here. If I have offended any one of you, please forgive me. Please forgive me by your mercy, because that's the quality of a devotee. Srila Prabhupada writes here that mercy is what mercy, he should be mercy. A devotee shows complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. And mercy is what he gives. So that is his mercy. So please be merciful to me for whatever I have committed. If I've hurt you in any ways, or if I've offended you, please be merciful to me. Please be tolerant towards me. And let us work together for the mission of Srila Prabhupada, that we all come together as really, really tolerant, humble, merciful. We have friendship. Srila Prabhupada has created this beautiful world where everyone can come. Everyone is invited. So there's so much of equality. Looking at these examples, you see that Srila Prabhupada, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, is the only way how we can develop some of his drop matra qualities in him. So with this, I'll take a stop here. If there's anything, any corrections, anything, additions, anything you would like to add on, I think I hope I'm not over time. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I add something?
Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji.
Radha Padmaji, you have glorified Lord Krishna, Prabhupada, all the devotees, and written, we have all been glorified by a good lecture. Thank you.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Madhidhara Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please
I
accept.
just like to share one short sort of realization we had yesterday. We were very fortunate to have His Grace Nankishore Prabhu with us last night, and he was telling us how to obtain the mercy of the Guru or Vaishnavas or Krishna. He said when a devotee or disciple serve his spiritual master or other senior devotees doing menial service, like ironing their clothes or doing their laundry or cleaning up the bathroom or making their bedding or offering prasadam or cleaning up their paraphernalia, helping in the deity worship, any menial service a devotee does to a spiritual master or to any devotees, then the reciprocation is that the devotee feels so much obliged to that person for doing this menial service. He gives his mercies from his heart to the heart of the devotee who is serving. He said the way to receive mercy is to serve in a very humble menial task. We might say, oh, this is very menial. I like to be with Maharaj when he's giving class or doing some extra thing. But this menial service attracts the mercy of the Guru or the devotees. And the example is very good example is how Narottam Das Thakur served his spiritual master, Lokanath Goswami. Lokanath Goswami had taken a vow not to give initiation, not to accept any disciples. But Narottam Das was equally determined to take shelter of Lokanath Goswami. So he was cleaning up his toilet. He will go, Lokanath Swami do his ablution in the morning, but then Narottam Das Thakur will go unnoticed and clean up everything. So when Lokanath Goswami noticed somebody is doing this, and he was saying, who is doing this? Then he caught Narottam Das Thakur. He was so moved by this menial service of Narottam Das Thakur that he accepted him as his only disciple. So but point is, we have to be very humble, do any menial service in a very humble mood. Then the mercy of the Guru or mercy of the spiritual master or the mercy of the devotee just flows from their heart to our heart. Thank you, Mother, just for sharing this.
Okay, very nice.
Prabhu, this is very, very inspiring. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we're having another session on Monday from 6:30 at my place. Then Bishop Prabhu will coming, sharing his interaction in preaching. And he did some extensive class. He said like nearly 1.5 to 2 hours.
Wow.
And so many important points came out, and it was very informal. So I'd like to invite anybody who want to come, 6:30 Monday at my place. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the invite. Okay.
Anybody else got any points to share or reflections? We still got a few minutes. Okay, it doesn't seem to be so, Mataji. I'd like to thank you very much for coming this morning, giving us a wonderful class. Our Grace, Radha Padma Mataji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti, Gaur Premi Hari Hari Bol, Vancha Kalpataru Vishya, Vipas, Vicha, Patitana Pami, Vishnu,
Anantapati Vaishnavrinda ki
Ki
jai.
jai.
Har Krishna Padma Devi Dasi ki jai.